Next week's the one I want to be done at
Gotcha.
7, so we can have it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Next Wednesday or next Thursday?
Next year, we're driving to Kansas City, and we're leaving Thursday night.
After the meeting?
Good evening. I'd like to call to order tonight's meeting of the Burnsville-Egan-Savage ISD 191 School Board. Today is June 13th, 2019, and the time is 6:30 p.m. I'd like to welcome everyone who's joining us, both in person and at home. Thank you for coming to listen in on our work together. With that, Director Miller, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will open tonight's meeting by approving tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Director Schatz, second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Miller. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion carries. Starting our information portion of our meeting tonight, we will start with Future Ready, Community Strong, and I'd like to welcome Robbie Bunnell, Foundation 191 President, to the podium. We're going to learn more about the Foundation 191 grant recipients and guests.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Alt, Superintendent Amoroso, and Board Directors. Thank you for letting us be here tonight. My name is Robbie Bunnell, and I'm the current president of Foundation 191, which is the education foundation for the Burnsville-Egan-Savage School District. I am here on behalf of the Foundation Board to announce the 2019-2020 Foundation 191 Grant Award recipients. Each year, the Foundation receives grant requests from district staff for project or activities that are intended to support curriculum, the physical and/or emotional well-being of our students, and to facilitate community outreach. And each year, we are amazed at the creative thinking and the compassion of our teachers. This grant program is the heart of the Foundation's mission, which is to enrich, enhance, and expand educational opportunities for students in the district. We're excited to share with you some really cool and innovative project proposals that came to us this year. But first, I would like to share the numbers with you. This year, we had 26 grant applications submitted, 18 requests were granted, 11 were partially funded, 7 were fully funded, and 8 schools were impacted. Project awards this year totaled over $11,000 and will reach over 5,000 students and their families. As I announce the awards, I will share a brief description with you. I'm not going to read all the PowerPoint. It'll be on our website if anybody wants to read the whole thing. This year's awards are from Burnsville High School, Junior Achievement Finance Park. This program combines classroom learning in the areas of income, savings, credit, and budgets, culminating in a visit to an experiential learning facility. From Sky Oaks Elementary, Peaceful Playground Recess Kit. This provides a safe, organized playground that is developmentally appropriate. Also from Sky Oaks, the Sky Flyers. Sky Flyers is the leadership team for 4th and 5th grade students who are making a positive impact on their school. From William Byrne, we have school-to-home math bags. There were 2 grants given, one at the kindergarten level and one at the 3rd grade level. Students are given bags with math games in them to take home, which will help reduce screen time and master math skills. Native U, Seeds for Education, understanding and growing native plants that are native to Minnesota to increase the number of pollinators. That one actually looks really interesting. From Ron Elementary, they are having their 50th anniversary celebration this year, and they're very excited about recognizing their history and embracing the changes in their neighborhood and showcasing their amazing school community. From Marion W. Savage, we have the Whaletail Publishing Center. The Whaletail Publishing Center has been around at MW for a long time. It's a really great program. It takes students through the publishing process from start to finish, which includes writing, illustrating, dedicating their story, and then sharing it with their peers and families. From Hidden Valley Elementary, we have Growing Resilience. This provides practical tips and tools for learning coping skills for families and staff and students to thrive during life stressors. From Hidden Valley, we also have Growing Roots. This provides culturally informed education to parents and guardians on child development and how to access community resources. From Harriet Bishop Elementary, we have Orienteering for Everyone. This teaches the sport of orienteering to teachers, staff, and volunteers who will then teach it to the students to strengthen student physical and cognitive abilities. And finally, from Nicollet Middle School, we have Classroom Atlases. In their grant request, they indicated that their atlases were from 2006, and they were falling apart and they were outdated. So we're replacing the old atlases to help 8th grade geography students become real-world ready by teaching mapping and geography skills. The Avid Binder Hospital, that one I had to do a double take on. This is really fun. It is going to give binders to Avid students, learning organizational skills, processes, procedures, and tools to study more effectively. Diverse and extraordinary book club literature. This gives students literature that authentically portrays the real-world problems relevant to our current student population. Read aloud literature to explore diversity, again, putting culturally relevant materials in the hands of our students with the hopes that they begin to see themselves in the characters so they can realize that they're not alone. The Hate You Give, keeping 8th grade literary arts students engaged during novel unit with socially relevant material, which will also include lessons to teach students to find themes and support claims with evidence. We are very excited about these projects, and we're very excited to follow them over the next year. We encourage the teachers and staff to invite us to your activities, send us pictures, tag and hashtag us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I just want to say congratulations and thank you to all of the teachers and staff who submitted an application. We are grateful for your continued efforts to go above and beyond for our students and their families. And thank you for letting us be here tonight.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Board members, comments or questions? Director Hume.
Robbie, thank you for this great presentation and for all the work that I know the foundation has done to get it to this point. I was wondering if you could talk for just a minute about some of the criteria that you all used in making the decisions for these grants.
Yeah, we do have a whole grant guideline, and really it comes down to how it will benefit the students and staff at the district, of course, and the broad impact on the family or on the students. And what I'm noticing kind of a change is we're not just focusing on teachers and students anymore. We're really spreading out to their families and the community, and we're really excited about that.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? We really appreciate everything that this group of really dedicated group of volunteers does on behalf of all of our students and families. Your reach is everywhere, and many of the projects that the foundation has seed funded are now growing and thriving, and it's just wonderful to see. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your support. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Next, Superintendent. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
I forgot the big check. Giant check, oh, can't forget that. We would like to present this check to you. As I indicated, we awarded $11,217 this year in grants. Thank you.
Now we will start the report section of our meeting, starting with the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Chair Alt. Thank you, Chair Alt. It is the end of the year, and the end of the year is always bittersweet for educators because We develop relationships over the course of the year. There's a lot of work and effort put into making the year successful for all. And there's a lot of joy at the end of the year because of what we've accomplished. And so I want to share with you some of the experiences that we had at the end of this year that really celebrate the work that was done. First of all, if you recall, we recently implemented a new district-wide elementary reading program. I'd like to share some reading community reflections. And part of our reading framework, our reading program, is that it is based in collaboration and it embeds social and emotional skills as well. So these are community reflections from Beth Grunke's first grade class at Gideon Pond. These students were asked to draw a picture and share something they enjoyed about being in this reading community. You should be able to see the drawings as they come up. The first one, the student wrote, "I like sharing books with others and reading with others. My favorite part of the reading community is sharing books with friends. Rereading the book can make you know the book better. I'm going to reread the books because I like to read." And I especially liked seeing this one because I remember when I was teaching reading, it was often a struggle to get students to reread a book. And, the answer was, well, I already read that. And I would often respond with, well, how many times have you watched your favorite video? So that's a really, it feels really good to see that our students are coming out of this new program understanding why and enjoying the rereading of texts. The next one, "I like the reading community because we share by going book shopping. And if we don't talk, then we can read with others." And finally, "I enjoyed sharing books with others. I enjoyed rereading. It helps us know the book better." And certainly a theme in these 5 and in the others that they shared, you picked up on that reading with others and sharing with others. That's a significant difference in our reading instruction today than the reading instruction that many of us may have grown up with, where you read it by yourself and you maybe discussed with others, but you rarely shared the actual reading with others. And so these were just really fun to see, and it was rewarding to know that they're enjoying what they're doing and that it's making a difference. Next, I want to share an email that a community member sent in, and this is just sort of a good news item. As we get closer to the end of the year, we all feel the pull of beautiful spring weather, and it's not uncommon for classes to go outside. June 4th was one of those days, and a resident who drove by one of our elementaries wrote to us about what she saw. She said, "Yesterday I drove past Sioux Trail, and the children were outside with their teachers. All the classes seemed to be on task, doing, learning, listening. They had smiles on their faces, and I just loved seeing them busy. And bonus, outside, finally we have nice weather. It was just nice to see them. That's all." Sometimes it feels like we only hear about the things that need to be fixed or addressed, and so it's always wonderful to hear about things that are going well, and I want to thank the resident who shared that with us for that observation. Of course, the last day of school was an exciting one for students, staff, and parents, as it always is. This year, we asked our 191 community members to share their photos with us through social media with the hashtag last day of school. We have a short slideshow to highlight and share with you some of what we saw. And thank you everyone who shared their photos for the last day of school. And last, graduation is obviously the culmination of the school year and of our students' K-12 and birth to 21 sometimes experience with us. I was fortunate to attend and participate in 4 events, including for students of our BEST transition program, our School for Adults, our Burnsville Alternative High School, and Burnsville High School. Each ceremony is special in its own way, and they are all emotional and powerful because of the pride our students, families, and staff can feel. This year, our communications team put together a highlight video of our Burnsville High School graduation that I think captures the meaningfulness of the event perfectly. And I want to share that with you now. And I'm going to let you know ahead of time that the music in the background was written and performed by one of our graduates, and we'll have credits for her at the end. But I want to make sure that you know that before we start watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joy Baganco performing Pretty Wings.
Your pretty wings, spread them and fly. Your pretty wings.
During high school, we've created the memories that we will have for years to come.
Your time here has come to an end. You've grown up with your good friends, and now it's time to say goodbye, to change the world, just you and I. And I know
You are here because of the people around you, because of the people in your corner, and because of yourself.
don't think you're alone in.
It is an indescribable, joyous feeling to step into a classroom where it is being taught by someone who truly loves to teach.
I know it feels like it's all over, but I'm here to tell you that you're closer to something real, something more beautiful. The future holds so much.
We've reached a transition point in our lives where we can learn from ourselves and each other and grow into the people we've always wanted to be.
Oh, here's to new beginnings. Ooh, oh, here's to new beginnings. Here's to them. Won't forget the good times. Hey, yeah. Can't forget the bad times. No, no.
Burnsville is a diverse community filled with people from all walks of life. We take pride in our differences. It's what fuels our community. We are a place where success is not determined by our race, zip code, gender, religion, sexual orientation, or any other entity we use to define ourselves.
Your pretty wings.
We are a place of uplift.
The hard times that you went through, the good things that have come true, it's all a part of growing up. Best of wishes and good luck. You've come so far, it's crazy. Now you're graduating. To keep on flying.
The world awaits for you to bring forth your greatness, just as you have done here at Burnsville High School.
Burnsville High School has given the class of 2019 the tools to withstand any of life's challenges.
What you believe is what you will follow, so believe in yourself and the future. Keep looking out windows, keep searching, and keep seeing what the world has to offer.
Your pretty wings.
Congratulations, class of
Spread down
2019.
and fly your pretty wings.
There's not really much more that needs to be said following that, but I do want to thank Communications Coordinator Wes Dre for putting that video together with cooperation from Burnsville Community Television. If you'd like to watch that again or share it, the video is available on our website and YouTube channel, and we are going to be sharing that broadly through different communication means as well. So with that, congratulations again to all of our graduates. As you pursue your plans and dreams, I hope you know that you will always be part of the 191 community. That concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent Amoroso. We need a heads up next time that we need tissues.
I know, right?
Getting choked up. Board members, are there any board member reports? Director Courier.
I have 3 of them. The Association of Metropolitan School Districts met twice in May. The second meeting consisted of a legislative recap by Tom Melcher and Caitlin Snyder from the Minnesota Department of Education. The PowerPoint presentation is on the AMSD website under the 2019 board meetings section. The presentation is very detailed, and I urge both fellow board members and the public to review it. It's very detailed about the legislative session, and I've seen it once, tried to go through it for this presentation, and you can't absorb it. But I mean, there's lots there, so I urge you to review it. And this is a report about School District 917. This past Tuesday was the regular June meeting of Intermediate District 917. It was held the second week instead of the first week, as there are so many end-of-the-year activities and graduations in member districts during the first week. Our activities included approving the 2019-20 budget, reviewing the 18-19 operational initiatives, the first reading of numerical 400 policies, approving several individual employment contracts, setting July and August meeting dates, approving school lunch prices for the 1920 school year for sites not incorporated in school districts, and reviewing and discussing the superintendent's annual evaluation. And in case you were wondering, I attended 4 917 graduations besides our 4 graduations. So I attended 8 graduations. And that concludes that report. And then on May 31st, Chief Tanya Schwartz of the Burnsville Police was installed as Chief of Police, replacing the retired Eric Gaiski. And several of us were at that event. Burnsville has had a police force since 1964, and I believe, though I'm not absolutely sure, but all 6 retired police chiefs were at that event. But Chief Schwartz is the first woman to serve in that capacity. Burnsville, the city, has strong female leadership across the city. And that was demonstrated by, we have a female mayor, we have a female superintendent of schools, we have a female city administrator, we have a female chair of our school board. We also have a female representing our area of the county on our county board. We have strong leadership in our area, both men and women, so I think that represents us well. So that was what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, going to events. So that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you, Dee Dee. Any others? Director Miller?
On this past Monday evening, June 10th, this board's legislative committee gathered. In attendance, Director Chester, Dr. Hume, myself, and Superintendent Amoroso. We welcomed State Representative Hunter Cantrell and Elise Mann. So we had a very engaging and productive conversation. Opportunity to kind of meet and greet and chat and talk a little bit. They brought a number of questions they'd heard from constituents. It was nothing very surprising. And it was a great opportunity to give them some different perspectives on things. I think I think the formula is working, and we're going to proceed with that in the future. So don't think we're going to have a meeting in July due to our unusual taking time off, but in August, and we'll send an invitation to another member of our legislative community. So,
Okay, thank you very much. Any others? All right, with that, we'll start the business portion of our meeting, starting with the consent agenda. Although board action is required, it is generally unnecessary to hold discussion on these items. In the event a board member wishes to discuss an item, that item will be moved for separate consideration. Is there anything that board members would like to separate? Hearing none, I will take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Director Courier. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Chester. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion carries. Moving to the new business portion of the meeting, I would like to invite Lisa Ryder, Executive Director of Business Services, to the podium. We are being asked to approve a contract for property, casualty, and liability insurance for 2019-2020. Welcome, Lisa.
Good evening. On an annual basis, we review with our agent of record the coverage that we have for property, casualty, and liability insurances across the district. On an annual basis, we usually bring this to the same meeting in which, through the consent agenda, the agent of record is being approved as well. Therefore, that happened tonight. Our agent of record remains Kraus Anderson Insurance. And as we went through this renewal process, it usually begins in March with an application process for each of the various different insurance coverages that you see. We complete a bunch of information related to a lot of details that they want to know. And from there, then, there's a process that's occurring with our agent, as well as each of these different companies, to address any of their concerns that underwriting may have, or whatever the case might be. And then they come to me in late May, early June, with the information as to what that premium's looking like. As you take a look at this information, there's a little bit of an increase on the international package, and the reason there is really around the volume of people that need coverage for international coverage, and so that is dependent upon which particular trips are planned and the volume of people going. So that can vary from year to year. And we do carry flood insurance for one of our locations. It's minimal, but we do that, so we have coverage there. And new midstream last year was the cyber risk, and so we now have that in play, and we expect to continue that. So in whole, you see an increase in premiums compared to the previous year of around 6.9%. Additional information of past year information we're going to keep and maintain from year to year, so you can see kind of what that looks like. The insurance companies themselves did not change this year compared to the previous year. Some slight adjustments with regard to a few deductibles in certain areas. Other than that, the premium that is before you is $362,124, covers all of our property, casualty, and liability insurance for the school district. With that, the recommendation is that the Board of Education approves the contracts for property, casualty, and liability insurance for the 2019-2020 year with Affiliated FM Insurance Company, American Alternative Insurance Company, National Union Fire Insurance Company, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Stratford Insurance Company, the Insurance Company of the State of Pennsylvania, Auto Owners Insurance Company, Admiral Insurance Company, and Cincinnati Insurance Companies.
Thank you, Lisa. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Director Schatz. Second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Courier. Are there any questions or comments? Director Miller?
Just clarify for my interest in the public record, the premiums and any increase was in line with your planned budgetary
It is to-
expenditures?
Yeah, so we carry a budget for property casualty liability that encompasses the premium as well as enough in case of events that may occur for deductibles. So we're still good with a little bit of room yet for deductibles should we need them in case an event occurs. Should we have more than 1 or 2 events, though, we may have some difficulty in meeting that budget.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving this recommendation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion carries. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Jenna Mitchler, Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, and Rachel Gordon, Instructional Technology Coordinator. We are being asked to approve the 191 Flexible Learning Plan. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Alt, Board of Directors, and Superintendent Amoroso. So we did a workshop on May 23rd about our flexible learning days where there was a lot of information provided. We're not going to go back through all of that information in the slides, but you did have in the board book, a summary that just describes some of the same things you saw in the slides. So the why of the flexible learning days, some of the parameters around the calendar, staff availability, flexible learning days, and just some highlights of how that works, communication, and then feedback. So with that, I guess the recommendation is just to approve the 191 Flexible Learning Plan tonight.
Great, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Director Courier, second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Hume. Are there questions or comments? Director Schatz.
So one of the questions I had was about the attendance piece of it and the policies around that, and so we resolved whatever concern or whatever conflicts might arise or any issues about that in creating the plan.
Yeah, so well, I'll start by saying that we have right now a committee. I think Assistant Superintendent Gersich mentioned it at our last meeting, where we have principal representatives from each of the levels, and then we have Rachel's on the committee. I am on the committee as well, and we're trying to solve some of those issues, and we're using our networks to do that. Rachel is very well networked with a lot of our digital learning specialists in the metro area. So other than that committee, I'll let Rachel give a little bit more detail.
Yeah, so attendance is definitely something that many districts are kind of working through the details. MDE had a presentation earlier in this spring, and at that presentation, a lot of conversation was had around like attendance. They have guidelines that they've set out of what constitutes attendance for those for the e-learning days, and so we'll follow the same guidelines that they have as we kind of fine-tune the plan as we move forward.
So sorry. Okay, then I have a follow-up. So then, as you're working through that, then you'll highlight to the superintendent any changes to any policies that will need to come to the policy committee. Should there be any? Well, there'll need to be at least, since this doesn't exist in our current policy structure in any way, at least that how the attendance works. Then you'll bring to the superintendent any changes in policy or additions, new policies, things like that need to be recommended.
Right, so the process we see moving forward is the committee that I had mentioned will take some of the recommendations from MDE and some of the things that are happening in other districts. And then yes, great point, bring up if we need to make any policy changes or anything like that, bring that before the policy committee.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions? Director Miller.
Actually, more of a statement, just for the benefit of anybody viewing this meeting tonight in a later date. It's an unfortunate side effect of that we don't air some of our workshops and stuff. So I just want to be very clear. You presented a very extensive, well thought out program the other night, and there was a number of challenges and questions here. So I think we feel very confident in approving this, and I was mostly impressed by the fact that you're not. That you're recognizing that you're off into new waters and you're open for adjustments and learning in the process. So I just want to be clear for the public for that. So.
Thank you. Superintendent Amoroso.
I'll just add to Eric's comments that there will be significant communication in August for our parents, August, September, October. There will be ongoing significant communication in the fall. So while we're not giving all those details tonight, I know that our communications department and you have already been working on what that communication will look like. It will be multiple times in multiple ways so that we make sure that everyone has that information that, that we talked about at the workshop.
Thank you. Any other comments? I just have one, because I want to make sure that our community is aware that we really do want to have feedback from our community on how the e-learning days go for their students, for their families. And in this summary, it outlines that students, staff, and parents will be asked for feedback. And there will be a survey that will be sent out. And then, as is usual, the standard operating practice within our individual schools, if you're a staff member or a parent, you can always funnel your comments through your principal. And we're looking for everything, and good, bad, and indifferent. We want to know how it's working so that we can continue to tweak and make it better. Great. With that, do I have all those in favor of approving the recommendation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, and the motion carries. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to adjourn to a workshop on the Levy Community Survey results. We will take a 5-minute recess. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Let's say